Let's talk about Kalani and how she's crowned Oshun. Now, if you're not familiar with
Now, I just saw this video about how the singer Kalani worshiped the goddess Oshun. Now, Kalani is not the first celebrity that I had found out that worshiped the goddess of Oshun. I know Beyonce is another one that worshiped Oshun as well. And to be real honest, this is why you are not supposed to idolize and worship old gods and old goddesses. Like what Kalani and Beyonce and a lot of other singers are doing is basically idolatry. They are idolizing and worshiping another deity. And that right there is not what you're supposed to do. And I'm going to tell you why. Even though these goddesses were powerful women and they represented love, they represented fortune, they represented prosperity, you are still not supposed to idolize and worship these gods or goddesses. And I'm going to tell you why. The reason why that is because y'all have to understand. Now, I really want y'all to understand this. What y'all have to understand is that you are living in a life that is basically a experience, right? So you was already incarnated on this earth before. You have been reincarnated on this earth many of times before, right? And each time that we get reincarnated on this earth, we don't know who we were. We don't know who we were. So in your past life, you could have been a goddess. You could have been a god. You could have been a priest. You could have been a matriarch. You could have been anything, right? So instead of you idolizing and worshiping another person, another god, another goddess, instead of you worshiping another entity or another deity, this is why you're supposed to idolize and worship yourself, because you don't know exactly who you were. This is why they tell you you idolize and worship no man. You worship you because you don't know who you were in your past. Who you were in your past could have been far beyond who Oshun was, you know? So while you taking all your time and energy worshiping Oshun, you don't know who you were in your past life. You could have been right next to Oshun. You could have been in a higher ranking than Oshun. So while you sitting here idolizing and worshiping and giving all your graces and all your praise to Oshun and all these other gods and goddesses, you don't know who you were. So this is why you get to know yourself and you praise the God and the goddess that was in you, because you don't know who you were. Because every piece of you that was on this earth before is still in you. So if you was a goddess of prosperity in one of your old past lives, you are still a god in prosperity in this life. It's just that you are living a different experience. But if you was a god in your past life, you are still a god now. Just because you're not labeled as one in this experience, it doesn't mean you isn't. Just because you are labeled not a goddess in this experience, it doesn't mean that you isn't. So this is why you idolize and you worship and you give yourself the praise. Because even though we are living in another experience, you don't know who you were. So you give yourself the praise. You give yourself the glory. This is why you are the Christ. You are the Messiah. You are the truth. You are the life. You are everything. Everything is in you. You are the church. You are the temple. You worship and you idolize yourself because you don't remember who you were in your past life. You could have been someone like Jesus that tried to wake millions of people up to get out of the system and out of the program. You don't know who you were. You could have been one of those people that actually stood beside the Messiah and helped the Messiah evolve people. You don't know who you were. You could have been an extremely powerful being. But the fact that you don't remember who you were, you rather idolize and worship another being that you do know about. This is why we need to start learning and educating about ourselves and see how powerful we are. Because if you found out right now that you used to be a goddess of the sun, that you used to be a goddess of the moon, that you used to be a goddess of the earth, that you used to be the goddess of fortune and prosperity. If you found that out right now, you are going to start doing research within yourself, and you are going to start idolizing and worshiping and praising yourself, because you know if you give yourself the glory, like you see all these other people giving other people the glory, you are embracing yourself. You are embracing your own ancestors. You are awaking up that higher self that is in you, and it is going to evolve and work through you. But the more you keep going outside of yourself and giving everybody else and everything the praise, you don't know who you were. You don't even know who you are, because you're not giving yourself the chance, because you're so busy researching and learning about everybody else.